Good morning. It doesn't matter if you think it's possible or not. Let's sit down and write your 90-day move abroad plan. Let's get your peace out protocol together. You may already think that you and your family should be leaving the United States of America, which is, if you're Black, I think you should be, right? Or you may not, right? You may be like, we're going to sit and wait this out. Regardless, I think you need to get your peace out protocol together. Get your notebook, get your pen. We're going to work on it right now. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm in Bogota, Colombia. I'm not from Bogota, Colombia. You can tell, you can hear it, right? But I currently live in Bogota. I haven't lived in the United States for the last 10 years. And I have a community of Black women, some of whom are in the chat this morning, good morning, who have left the United States. We know the plan, we know the protocol, we know the steps that it takes, and it can be done in 13 weeks. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel if you're here. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm just waiting for you to do that. Thank you. And then turn on notifications, ring the notification bell. You'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live with my friends. Hi, friends. Good morning, Sharon. Hey, Miss Brenda. Oh, come on. Okay. Let me calm down. Hey, Miss Brenda. Hi, Release Your Life. Hey, Cheryl, PhD. GT Sugar. Hi, Mom. That's Connie Perry. That's my mom. Hi, TJ. Hey, Angela Strickland. Hey, Shantae Hannah. Hey, Courtney King. Hey, KO Karma. Hi, friends. Florida Lee Living. Ms. B. Good morning, friends. Make sure you say hi in the chat if you're watching the replay. Hello, friends in the future. Say hi in the comments. Okay, greet us while we get ready for this little mini itty bitty workshop. It's going to be a little itty bitty workshop. Okay. Hi, friends. How's everybody? I'm glad to hear it. Okay. So 90 days is about 13 weeks. We're going to get a notebook and we're going to get 13 lines, 13 spaces, and we're going to write out what we are going to do. If you're in the United States today, you don't really have a plan to leave, but you need to get a plan to leave. This will work whether, especially if you don't have the money today, or not especially, but this will work if you don't know where the money's going to come from, right? You don't need a job abroad to live abroad. In fact, most of the people who leave the United States and live somewhere else, I don't know, I'll be being like most and all and almost always, a good portion. In the Exodus Summit community, I will say most of the women who leave the United States are not doing it by getting a job in another country. Okay. In my space, in my community, Exodus Summit has 26,000 women in that Facebook community. In that community, most do not do it by getting a job abroad. Okay. Most do it by the ways that we're going to talk about today. But I don't want to start off talking about money specifically. So week 1 of this 13-day plan, week 1 is us getting clear on some things, because you don't want to just run in any direction and be doing whatever. Good morning. Thank you guys for saying hi in the chat. I appreciate that. Good morning. So we don't want to run in any direction. We don't want to end up in a situation that we don't like, or in a situation we can't sustain, or in a situation that is, it's not, I don't think it's possible for Black people to leave the United States and end up in a worse situation, but we want to improve our lives by leaving the country. We don't want to jump from the frying pan into the fire. Okay. So the first week we're going to spend, oops, sorry. My thing, you know what? My thing is so funny. The first week, I must have texted my landlord by mistake because she's replying to me with question marks. Oh, okay. She must have messaged me yesterday and I didn't hear her. Oh, I'm sorry. Olga, my landlord, I don't want to make her mad, okay? I'll pay the October, okay. Okay, gracias. The electric bill doesn't come to me. For some reason, the gas bill comes to me, but I'm gonna have to text her in English because I can't do both. I'll bring the cash to you. I usually try to text her in Spanish. She can read and speak English. Okay. 13 weeks. You don't need a job. Okay, first thing we're going to do is get clear. Now let me turn on my do not disturb. First thing we're going to do is get clear on what it is we do want and what we don't want. I think you can start off with, what do you like about where you live today? What do you not like about where you live today? And what are some things that you would like to add into your daily routine, your weekly routine that you don't have where you currently are? We're going to spend a whole week on this, right? We only have 13 weeks for the Move Abroad plan, and we're going to spend a whole week on what do you want? Week one, what do you want? And what do you need? Right? I'll tell you what my needs were when I was bopping around the world. My needs were a lot less. But then once I decided to get an apartment here in Bogota, my needs, I had to get more specific about my needs. I wanted, I don't know, I wanted to be in a place where when I walked around the city, people were warm and welcoming and not always staring. And people don't stare at me too much here in Bogota. People stare at me everywhere. People just stare at me. I'm a person, I get stared at Christiana Mall in Delaware, right? Where everybody looks like me. Um, but I wanted to be in a place where people didn't stare, and in a place where people seem to be community focused. They're focused on making friends and doing things together, and where I could jump into a friend group or, form a friend group. There are places where people are warm and friendly, but you're never really going to be their friend. They already got friends, and they don't really do foreign friends like that. This doesn't seem to be that kind of place. Costa Rica, Mexico, and here in Colombia, those are places where you can make friends. Like that was an important thing to me. After 10 years of traveling, I wanted to sit still and have friends and have a community. Of course, there was a specific cost of living that I needed to stay in, a cost of living range I wanted to stay in. But you may not know that yet until you figure out where the money's coming from. You may not yet know your cost of living, but some of you do know a cost of living range you need to stay within, especially if you already have a remote job, if you're going to be living off of interest or income, dividends, investment income, Social Security and pension, alimony, lottery winnings, whatever. If you're living off of those things, you may already know a cost of living range you need to stay in. If you don't know that yet, hang on. We're going to work on that soon. But if you have an idea, put that down. You may have weather demands. I have weather demands. I don't want to live a life with a coat. I want to live a coat-free life. Now, I happen to have landed in a place that's light jacket weather, long sleeves or light jackets in Bogota, but no coats. I don't need a coat here. Now, they be wearing coats. They be wearing coats. I'm like, child, it's 65 degrees. It feels like 75 when the sun is out. And they be in a full bubble coat, wool, trench coat, whatever. I'm like, girl, it's not all that, but Colombians. I used to see the same thing in the Philippines. I was in the Philippines 2015 Christmas time. It was 90 degrees. People on the bus were wearing coats. Okay, so you can't go by that. Karen just put up one that's important to me. Either good public transportation or very, very inexpensive private transportation like Uber and whatever they use in that place, Grab, taxi, or whatever. I'm okay with one or the other, but you may not want to use Uber or Grab or Lyft wherever you're going. Good public transportation. Also, I want to be in a walkable place. I don't want to have to get in a vehicle to do my daily duties. Yeah. So what do you want? Write these out. Now I said, get you a piece of paper with 13 lines. This is going to take more than 13 lines. Okay. But what do you want and what do you need? I also wanted to be able to fly back to Delaware in a reasonable amount of time in case I needed to see my parents quickly. Right. I don't mind it taking 2 days to get back home when it's not an emergency situation, right? If I'm in Bangkok or Vietnam, which I love, or Malaysia, which y'all love, it's okay if it's going to take me like almost 2 days to get back. But if it's a situation where I need to be back there quicker, I want to be able to get back there quicker. And so for me, that meant North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbean, and maybe a little slice of Europe, Portugal, Spain, Ireland, if I could afford it. If I could afford it, Ireland would be a nice choice, right? Um, those were my main priorities. What are your priorities? What do you need? This is week 1, okay? What do you need? I'm going to point you to the which country should I move to quiz, because the quiz does a wonderful job of helping you think through your priorities. The quiz is going to spit out an answer. It's going to give you an answer. It's going to give you a country. It's going to give you a city somewhere in the world. That city may not be the right fit for you, but the questions that lead you to that result, to that city, are the questions you need to be walking through this first week of your 13-week Peace Out protocol. The first week of, I want to leave, we got to leave, we should leave. Where are we going and how are we going to navigate that financially, logistically? The first thing you need to do is get clear on the questions that Rashida so kindly mapped out for you in the Which Country Should I Move to quiz. ExodusSummit.com/quiz. And the quiz is linked already in the description of this video. If you're watching on TV, on your phone, on your laptop, whatever, you can go ahead and click on that link. It's if you're watching on TV, you're going to have to use your phone or use another device. But you can go ahead and click on that link. You can take the quiz while we're talking. Okay, you can go ahead and take the quiz while we're talking so that you can work through what do you need. If you are an LGBTQ family or individual person, you're going to need to prioritize your safety. And some of the countries that we like to move to are not the answer, right? Black women in our community love Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. They're probably not going to be at the top of your list, right? You're probably going to be more Latin America or Asia focused than Africa or the Caribbean focused. Probably, maybe, okay? Thank you. Flutter by PNW, thank you. The quiz focuses you. Love the quiz for focusing on the factors you need, right? What things are important to you? You probably haven't had a chance to really map this out. This is very important. This is why we only have 13 weeks. We're going to spend a whole week on this. Okay. Once you get clear on what you need, you're also want to focus on what do you have? What are some advantages that you do have? We're going to talk money next week. Okay. Like in a few minutes, we're going to talk money. But if you have some sort of thing that might make this more doable for you, list that out. Sometimes when you're talking about the things you need, you only think, or you think about your deficits, but you don't think about, you have some things to fill those needs already. So what advantages do you have? Listen, girl, do you have a pension and Social Security? You can be gone in 6 weeks, okay? Right? Do you have birthright? So do you have citizenship in another country, or the possibility of getting a passport in another country because your parents or you or your grandparents were born somewhere? What advantages do you have? Go ahead and list out some of your advantages this week too, okay? Some of them will pop up in your mind in the future. I'm Mrs. Mackey. Hi. Great special needs services. All right. If you need to be in a place that has certain services, because you have healthcare needs, because you have physical care needs, whatever, because you have needs, write those out too. Write that out as well, because part 2, or I guess we're on part 3 of week 1, right? Another thing we're going to do in week 1 is, once we see some possibilities, some countries that might fit for us, or some countries that we need to investigate based on our list of priorities, based on the quiz, we probably have some places to investigate. Then you need to get in community with Black women and families who are or have moved to those places, who are moving or have moved to those places. This is still on week 1, right? You made a list. I want this price cost of living. I want this temperature, right? I want this view. I want a mountain view. I want an ocean view, or I want whatever. Like, seriously, what do you want your life to look like? I want a place that's rich in the arts, or I want a really, really sleepy place. I need some time, some peace. I don't want to be go, go, go. I want a real sleepy place. I want to be on the beach or in a mountain town or whatever, right? Then you're going to match up. How do you match up what you need to an actual place in the world, and not one place, places? How do you match up what you need to actual places in the world? You get in community with Black people who are moving abroad, and you listen and you engage and you ask questions. My favorite community is the Exodus Summit community. It's Black women only, and we just moved off of Facebook. So those of you who don't want to deal with Facebook, good news. Neither do we. Okay. We grew our community to 26,000 Black women on Facebook, but Facebook was not a good fit for us. So we're not there anymore. Okay. But join the Exodus Summit community, exodussummit.com/community. Join communities for Black people who are moving abroad. Our Black Utopia, Rick and Halisi, they have a community. They're celebrating Rick's birthday, so we won't see them today, but happy birthday, Rick. Adelia has a community called Picky Girls Travel. I just call it Adelia's community. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Join communities for Black women who are going to these things. That way you can get some like match up help matching you to a place. Because Black people who leave the United States and move abroad are so giving and so sharing about their experiences. They'll tell you what their life is like. Now, I'm on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers out here talking, a whole bunch of women in this like genre of YouTube talking. And there's a lot of people inside of these groups. Get in community, okay? Get in community with people in the places you think you might maybe possibly want to go. You don't even have to know that you're going there. Most of these communities aren't like that. You don't have to prove you have a ticket to that place to join a Facebook group or a private group. Krishan has Blacks at Global Passport. You don't necessarily need to prove anything. You can just say, I'm interested. I'm in so many groups in so many countries. I've taken myself out of a few. But in a lot of countries that were interesting to me, or cities around the world that were interesting to me, I just joined the group. Most of them have an expat group on Facebook and a Black expat group on Facebook. And some of them even have a Black women expat group on Facebook. So like Panama, a list just came out from some international organization just put out a list, and Panama was the top of the list for expats, immigrants. They have a good life, a good cause. I think it might have been an American organization, because I remember them saying that American immigrants or American expats have a good life and good cost of living and whatever. Panama was just number one on the list. So you may not know, there is a community called Black Expats in Panama. Charlotte Van Horn runs that community, and she runs an amazing Panama relocation tour. If you're in our community, women in our space talk about that quite a bit. And I believe there's even a link to her Panama relocation tour there. Okay. So there's Black expats in Panama. There's also a community called Black women expats in Panama, right? I would join them all. And I'm sure there's just an expats in Panama group, which is people from all over the world. Join them. Those people are telling you the real deal. For them, they're telling you their experiences. Some groups have sourpusses. Some people seem to move abroad and just be still sour about it, which is why I prefer the Black communities, because Black people, when we move someplace, we're like, this is nice. This is nice. I appreciate this. In fact, there's a Colombia group in town in Bogota this weekend. The Black expats from all over Colombia are in Bogota this weekend because there's a Black festival. Negro Fest is this weekend. I know. Okay. And also Kendrick Lamar was in town this weekend. I think his show is today, and then the Negro Fest is tomorrow. Black expats from the US, UK, Canada, and other places from all over the world are in Bogota this weekend. I was supposed to go meet them yesterday, but I was too tired. I worked hard. Y'all worked me really hard this week. I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling tired, so I couldn't go. Plus, I had a delivery that I had some things happening in the house that took too long. Back on track. Get in community. So week 1, what are your needs? What are your haves? And get in community with some people in some places that might fit your needs. Right? So if you have questions, ask your questions. That is week 1 of the 13-week Peace Out protocol. Where do I want to go is often a result of what do I want my life to look like? And then how do I match that up? The quiz is exodussummit.com/quiz. Link is in the description of the video. And the community, our community, is exodussummit.com/community. Link is in the description of the video. Yeah, Kendrick Lamar is in town. I don't hear the best. Well, no, I have a hearing disability. And so concerts are a thing that, I don't know. The last concert I went to Beyonce's Renaissance tour. Singing is one thing. I can hear singing, but rapping, I happen to have hearing loss at the actual level, hurts the hearing level of men's voices. I don't really hear men's voices. That's real. I know I joke about not wanting to hear men talk, but I don't really hear men's voices that well because of my hearing disability. And so I just didn't go. I learned about it. I didn't learn about it until 2 or 3 weeks ago. I posted in another community that I'm in, right? And they were like, oh, a whole bunch of us are coming to town. Kendrick Lamar, we're going to the concert. And so I looked it up and I was like, maybe I'll go. And then I was like, I ain't going. And then I was supposed to meet them for dinner last night. I'm not the do as I do community person. I'm the do as I say. Do as I say and get in community with people. Don't do as I do. I texted, she might be here right now, getting ready for her big day today. I texted one of the women who texted me. I texted her back and I was like, oh, and then now, so even the group leader, Akeem is even texting me like, you said you were coming. I couldn't do it. Okay, back on track. Yeah, I really don't hear that pitch. There's a certain register or pitch that I don't hear very well. So the concert just didn't make sense for me. So it's been a weekend of me not being in community with people who I should be in community with and will regret later. But during this Exodus Summit planning season, it's just tiring. And I don't like being tired, and I don't run on tiredness. And then I had one delivery and one repair person come yesterday, and neither one of them came in time for me to be at the meetup anyway. They both came after 8 p.m. when one was supposed to come at 10 a.m. Latin America, okay? In Latin America, time means nothing. And so everything just worked together for me not to be in community with the people that I really should be in community with, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. Okay. Getting in community with people will make everything else on this 13-week plan easier. Okay. So join the groups. Facebook and WhatsApp are worth it for your move. I understand we moved our community off of Facebook. I understand not wanting to be on Facebook, but for this period of time, it's worth it. For these 13 weeks, it's worth it, right? If you're planning a move abroad in the next 4 years, 2 years, 2 months, you probably want to go ahead and get on Facebook and get in some of these Facebook communities. When I tell you these people are sharing and giving, I mean it. So much stuff you won't know if you're not in community with people who have moved to that place before you get there. I wouldn't have known about the administration here. Rent is 2 numbers. They list the rent and they list the administration fee, the building administration fee. That's 2 different numbers. And I would have thought people were trying to cheat me if Olga had come and talking about, here's the rent and here's the admin fee. I'd have been like, what are you talking about? It's pretty common. It's like half and half. Some will add the number in and just tell you one number. Some separate the number. Olga separates the number. She's an older lady. She does it the older way. And I wouldn't have known that, right? I wouldn't have known. I would have been looking for things at the top of my rent level, rent budget, and wouldn't have known, except that I'm in community with people. I wouldn't have known which neighborhoods I should be looking at, except that I'm in community with people. Now, I didn't listen to their advice. They were like, here's some more reasonably priced neighborhoods. And I was like, I'm taking the top. Give me the most expensive neighborhood. I got myself in a pretty expensive neighborhood. I didn't listen, but they did give me good information, right? Without me even having to ask questions. They gave me really good information. Get in community with people who have moved to the places you're considering moving to. If you don't have any places on your list yet, a broader community like the Exodus Summit community is a place where we're talking about a bunch of different things. Our new platform has things broken down into channels based on countries, the most popular countries in our space. And so you can poke around and see everybody's experiences. Okay. YouTube is also very good for that. The Yarbros have traveled from place to place around the world. This is the first time I think I've ever been hot in this room. Because it doesn't get hot in Bogota. I'm feeling warm and I don't have any kind of fan or anything because the high temperature today is like 67. The Yarbros have traveled around the world. They're on YouTube. And then for each city or country that you might be interested in, there are individual YouTubers who talk about that, right? Rashida and Adelia, Mexico City. Rashida is Rashida on YouTube, and Adelia is Picky Girl Travels the World. If you want to hear about Mexico City, they also, of course, interview people who live everywhere, like I do. Get in community. Okay. And I don't mean only watching the videos, but if you watch somebody's video and you like their stuff and they have a community, they have a group, get in the group, listen to what people are saying. This will save you on all of the rest of your steps. It will help you on all of the rest of your steps. So week 1, what are your needs? What are your haves? And how do you match up your needs and haves to some places? Get in community. Okay. All of that is week 1. Week 2, we're going to go ahead and move into money. Okay, week 2 of our Peace Out protocol, we're going to move into, I'm past hot flashes. Well, kind of past hot flashes. I've been hot flashing for quite a while and then they just stopped. You know, I'm fully in menopause. Menopause and me have shooken hands. I'm fully in menopause. Menopause is technically 1 year after your last menstrual cycle. So I've been fully in menopause for over 1.5 years now. And I don't really get hot flashes like that. It might have been a hot flash, but I feel really warm in the room and that's uncommon because I have a heater. I just unplugged the heater to make sure that you couldn't see the little cord and the little outlet. I just unplugged my heater. I keep a heater in here. Week number 2, we're going to solve the money solution. We're going to create a money solution. We're going to solve our money deficit. You don't know your money deficit unless you have an idea where you're going and what things will cost there. Okay. But for a lot of you, how much money will you need in a new place? Maybe what you're spending on your housing today, you could live on entirely in some other place. Maybe. There are women in this community for whom that's true. Is there anybody here who left, you left DC, you left New York, New Jersey, you left California, Northern or Southern, and now your whole month costs what your rent used to cost or your mortgage used to cost in that place? Is there anybody here for whom that's true? That is often a starting point. If you live someplace really, really inexpensive, we interviewed a woman for Exodus Summit, and she said her rent outside of Cleveland was $400 a month. I'm like, girl, no. So this calculation won't work for you, but it does work for quite a few women. So Miriam says yes. I think that's what you're saying. Sabrina says yes. That's often a thing What you're spending on rent today, you can spend on it could be your full month expenses where you're going. Chicago and Atlanta, and it's true for Dee. Brown Girls Invest too. Okay, she's in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico, from Chicago and Atlanta. Okay, Miriam Davenport left New Jersey. Okay, thank you for sharing this, because Rashida says this, Rashida Dow, my business partner in Exodus Summit, she says this, and I think it can be very true for some people, also absolutely not true for you if your rent is $400 a month right now. Although you could live on $400 a month if you wanted to, and you could go to Cambodia, and then I think you could live on $400 a month and maybe $600 a month in Cambodia, maybe. Okay, whatever. Maybe 750. Let's go to 750. Okay, Brittany says it was true for her in Ecuador. Hey, Brittany. All right. Okay, CK says, listen, my rent is 4500. I'm budgeting for much significantly less than that. Okay. So sometimes we start with a phantom number. It's okay to make up a number as long as you don't stick with that made up number. Okay. As long as you adjust your number as you go by you doing your research, getting in community, listening to people, visiting, even if you can. You don't have to visit. This is 13 weeks. We don't have time for a scouting trip for you, right? But you'll be able to get a more accurate number. But for today, that's a way that you can start thinking things through. Okay. Yes, from LA to Ghana, and yes to living fully in Ghana on what your housing used to cost. Okay. So how do we solve this money problem? Most of us aren't going to take our traditional job with us. And so we need to come up with all of the money. Okay. How do you solve this money problem? Well, leave that group for last. Okay. Let's start with those of you who are retired, have a pension, have investment income. You have something, you have the money. Please allow yourself to use that money. Okay. If you have the money to be in another place, allow yourself to use that money. That's a problem in the Black woman space. I just talked to Dr. Roche on this channel a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about how money trauma can drive the boat in your life in a way that you don't want it to. Veterans disability money, please. Okay, use the money. Use the money. Get comfortable with seeing the number dwindle. It's okay. Right? It's okay to see your retirement account get smaller. You retire, you save that money to use it. Okay. Use the money. That's a group of people. That's how a group of people solves that money problem. Right? Another group of people will just find a job that pays them, but lets them live where they want to live in the world. There are location agnostic employers out here. There are employers who are like, oh, Carol said, calm down. Hello, Carol King. Calm down. Hot flashes don't go away. Okay, so I guess that's what I was experiencing. I haven't been experiencing hot flashes for the last year and a half. No night sweats. She said, don't brag. I guess that's what it was, because now I feel normal again. It's been a while. And that was pretty mild for me. That was pretty mild. So, okay. I feel good though. I feel good. Menopause has been pretty good to me. We talked about that not too long ago here. Hold on. If you do something that you know is remote friendly, a truly remote job might be the way. I'm not talking about a work from home job where they expect you to stay in the house, because you're not going to be in the house, right? You're going to be in Portugal. So you need a truly remote job that will that be okay with you being wherever you're going. That may be a thing that you'll want to negotiate with your current employer. It may be a thing that will require you to go out and get another job. Now, Exodus Summit 2025 is coming. It's October 10th through 13th, and it's all online. Exodus Summit is where we bring in Black women speakers to teach you how to do something. Okay. This year, Black women speakers are teaching you how to do something related to Exodus, right? Related to leaving the United States and moving abroad, or leaving your country. You may be Canadian or British. Hello, friends. Hello, friends from wherever you are. How to leave your country and move abroad. This year, the speakers are all focused on money. They're experts at making money in their particular way. And they're coming to teach you how to make money that way. So for the remote work seeker, those of you who are looking for a remote job, going to give you a paycheck every 2 weeks. You can just be wherever you want to be in the world, work from there. A couple of sessions that are going to be really helpful. We have a LinkedIn session. LinkedIn is how people are getting hired today. LinkedIn plus your network, which is also a thing that you can build on LinkedIn, is how people are getting work today. Recruiters still reach out to me because of my LinkedIn profile. And I thought I did a good job of scrubbing my old life, but they'd be like, well, you have this skill and this skill. Would you like a job? No, leave me alone. Block. Stop texting me. Some of the texts are not true recruiters. Some of them are scammers, but whatever. LinkedIn, we have a session on LinkedIn. We have a session on, Coach VetJet is doing a session on simple certifications that make you more hireable, right? And that help you get a truly remote job. And I feel like there's another session on work, on traditional jobs. I'm going to look this up because I want you to know that it is a thing. There are women in our community who have a traditional job, who have a remote job, and are able to live wherever they want in the world. It is a thing. It's not the most common way that women in our community do this, but it is a thing. Oh, negotiation. We have a session on, Jacqueline Twilley is teaching a session on negotiation. We had some women have really good success a few years ago in Exodus Summit by negotiating better pay, or negotiating remote work, or negotiating a career break or sabbatical. So we have another session this year on negotiating with Jacqueline V. Twilley. So those of you who are in a more jobby lane, your lane is going to be getting a remote job. Those are some sessions in Exodus Summit 2025 that are really going to help you. Our speakers don't come in to like gas you up. Our speakers come in to get you, to tell you how to get the result of the truly remote job. Okay. If you have a skill set that you think is already remote friendly, then you should get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025 at exodussummit.com, and then star those particular sessions. Okay. And then let's move out of the remote and traditional job world. Other ways that women afford to live abroad. Kiara's in Exodus Summit 2025. Kiara's doing a session on working part of the year, but getting paid your full salary. Kiara now works 6 months or less per year, and makes enough money to live her full life. She works 6 months or so, months. I might be confusing Kiara and Joanna. Joanna, I believe, worked 6 months on and 6 months off. Come to the US, work for 6 months, leave, travel the world for 6 months. Kiara, are you here? I don't remember how many months she's on and off, but Kiara works a few months through contracts in the US, and that gives her enough to go and leave and go to Mexico for the rest of the year. So we're talking that session as well. Contract work, or for Joanna, because she was a doctor, it was locum tenens. Kiara worked, I believe, in human resources. So we're talking contract work, how to work part of the year, but make a full year's salary, make enough money for you to live the rest of your year wherever. That was the thing that that was my original plan. I was a pharmacy technician. Go make some money, and then, because there are traveling pharmacy jobs, right? So like travel nurses. So my plan was that work a whole bunch, work for 4 months, take the money and run, go somewhere until I run out of money, come back, get another contract. Okay. We're talking contract work in Exodus Summit 2025 as well. Okay. We have a session on teaching abroad. So we have a panel on teaching abroad. Those of you who are teachers, and those of you who are interested in teaching English, those of you who are teachers of whatever subject you teach in the school systems, teachers or administrators, right? And those of you who would be interested in teaching English abroad, this panel is for you. Teaching at an international school for teachers can be a decent life, right? You can get pay, you can get a discounted, subsidized housing, maybe. You may be treated like a rock star. Some of these people in China seem to be treated really well. Our teacher is in Thailand. One of our teachers is in Thailand, right? So teaching abroad, whether you're a teacher today or not, is a session that would be interesting and helpful, a way to get Monty. Okay. How else do women in our community do it? Others launch a business that I lost you on the screen. Are we here? Hold on. Let me get it together. Other women in our community are launching some sort of business, freelancing business, coaching business, tax preparer business, virtual assistant business. We happen to have sessions on all of these. I started, after I'd spent my year traveling on savings, I started a virtual assistant business, and that is how I knew that I could make money and live anywhere. That was my first foray into not having a traditional job, but having money, right? In the past, if I didn't have a job, I didn't have money. But once I opened my virtual assistant business, I had no job, but I had money because I knew how to get clients. That is a session I'm looking forward to, our session on virtual assistant work. Hi, Regina. I'm really looking forward to that because I think virtual assistant is accessible. Being a virtual assistant is accessible. I became a virtual assistant knowing how to use Canva, which you don't even need to. A virtual assistant can a virtual assistant can just be an email manager. If you know how to deal with emails, how to open emails, how to navigate inboxes, that is a thing that virtual assistants do. Some virtual assistants kind of specialize generally. Virtual assistant is an assistant who is online, right? So things that an assistant does for a person or a company, they do, but they do it online. I'm not in the building with you. I'm not your secretary in the sense that I am sitting out in front of your office opening your emails. I am opening your emails, but I am in Thailand. You are wherever you are. I'm in Thailand and I'm opening your emails, or I'm creating your whatevers. I did landing pages and lead magnets. So I made PDFs. I made graphics and stuff for coaches. They were wherever. There are Empress Wanderlust. So there are tasks that a virtual assistant does that AI will now do, but the virtual assistant is the person leading the task. As a business owner, I'm not going to sit down and learn how to use AI to make reels. AI can make reels. AI can take my 2-hour video and chop it up into reels so I can put them on Instagram. That's a thing that I just paid Clarice to do for me today. Yesterday, who is she's on my admin team. Her title is not virtual assistant. Her title is product manager. I don't really remember her title. I think her title is product manager, but she is my virtual assistant in that world. I'm not going to learn how to do that. I'm not going to take the time to do it. I want a virtual assistant who knows how to do those things. Now, for me, Clarice doesn't use AI to make my reels because I don't want AI knowing my business. AI is not going to steal my peace out protocol. AI is not going to steal my house sitter school and give it to other people. No, that's my intellectual property. Thank you. But there are plenty of people who are using a virtual assistant who is using AI, right? My email, my Gmail. What am I using? Yeah, Apple Mail. On my phone, I didn't tell it to do this. It started summarizing my email. So instead of me seeing the first few lines of what the actual person wrote in the little preview, it's summarizing it and it's doing it all wrong. So Francis, who was our virtual assistant in the Exodus Summit business, sent out a bunch of emails over the last few days to people who pitched to speak in Exodus Summit saying, we didn't select you. Thank you for your submission. And the AI summary be like, so and so is a speaker at Exodus Summit, whatever, whatever. And I'm like, that's not what the email says. The email says, thank you, but no. We appreciate you, but no, you were not selected. And it's very clear. We did not select your session. But the summary gets it wrong every time. Every time they reply with thank you for letting me know, the summary be like, so and so is a speaker at Exodus Summit. AI is not helpful without a person using the AI, is what I want to say. Yeah, girl. I'm like, one day I'm going to sit down and figure out how to turn that off. I'm sure there's a way to turn off the summary because it gets it wrong every time. My little bank statement, it'll be like, what did it say the other day with my I get a message from USAA when they refund my ATM fee. And it was something like, it was ridiculous. I was like, that all it says is we've refunded your $3 ATM fee. And the summary is totally wrong. AI not helpful without a person. Okay. So virtual assistant work, I think we're safe. I feel good about it. If I needed to go back, if I'm closing the shop, we're closing Exodus Summit and I'm closing House Sitter School and I'm closing YouTube Success Challenge and I need to make some money, I'd go back to being a virtual assistant right now. I'm very excited about the virtual assistant session in Exodus Summit 2025 because it's what helped me stay out the door. I got out the door with savings. Exodus Summit helped me, virtual assistant work helped me stay out the door. We have a session on being a tax preparer. Sharonda's session on being a tax preparer, which is seasonal work that can float you for a full year. It's mostly seasonal. There are tax preparers who work throughout the year, but the bulk of your money is going to come in one fell swoop. I love that. I love it. We don't want to work every day. Nobody wants to work every day. So the session on tax preparer is another one that I'm crazy excited about because low barrier to entry, right? Tax preparers, there's no degree as a tax preparer required. There's no whatever. You take the class, you learn how to do it, you do it. And then freelancing. Halana's session on freelance writing is helpful for writers and freelance writers to be, but also for some other types of freelancers. Some things about freelancing are very universal, right? Knowing how to niche yourself, how to pitch yourself, how to get yourself in front of the right people. Some of that is universal to all freelancers. Some of this is specific. Some of her session is, most of her session will be very specific to freelance writing, especially magazine writing. Because you've seen Halana in the magazines. You've seen Halana's work in the magazines. But some of it will be helpful to other types of freelancers as well. Yeah. Listen, I'm excited about these sessions because the right one will take you around the world. Not everyone has the temperament to be a tax preparer or I'm not a detail-oriented person. I took a tax preparer class. My friend Katrina, whose birthday is today, happy birthday, Katrina. She was a tax preparer, right? And so I took the Jackson Hewitt class years ago, but I'm not a detail-oriented person. And I don't think money is real. I'm not interested in the specific numbers. I like the number 8. I don't want to write the number 7. I hardly ever write the number 7 down. That's a stupid number. I want to write the number 8 down. I have things that mean tax prepare, not right for me, but a thing that is right for you will take you around the world. And you only need one session in Exodus Summit 2025 to be out in the world, to have the money to live your life. I'm very excited about it because it only takes one thing. It takes one thing. Janine, congratulations. Welcome. Treat Exodus Summit 2025 like it's going to change your life because it can. Block off that whole weekend, October 10th, the evening of October 10th. I think we start at 6 or 6:30 Eastern time. Block from then all the way through Monday night. Block it all off. Welcome. We're very excited. If you haven't gotten your ticket yet, friends, get your ticket at exodussummit.com. You can start with the weekend pass and you can decide later if you want to upgrade to the all access pass. Prices increase again on October 10th. So you can decide before then if you want to make sure you get the best deal. It's online, friends. So, Miriam, we do in-person meetups. And in fact, we're doing a whole bunch of meetups next weekend on Saturday. But this summit itself is online. We do in-person stuff. If you're in our community at exodussummit.com/community, you'll see a whole bunch of in-person meetups organized for next Saturday, October 4th. I'm doing one here in Bogota. My mom's doing one in Dover. Connie Perry's hosting the Dover, Delaware meetup. Rashida and Adelia are getting together to make a meetup in Mexico City. There are meetups in New Jersey and New York. There are meetups in, maybe I'll open up the thing. But no, let's get back. Let me try to focus. But we'll talk about the meetups later. Can we put a pin in the meetups? Y'all remind me to talk about the meetups before we leave. Money. Okay, let's talk about because we got 90 days to get through and we're on week 2. Okay. Okay. I don't see a troll. Let me see let me get on so on whatchamacallit, I don't always see all the things. So let me get on my phone. Can you tell me the name of the person? If there's a person you want me to block, can you tell me their name? Or Tori, are you here? A more organized person. This is how you know I'm not made to be a tax preparer, because a more organized person would often have an admin, a person to keep an eye on things. I just be like, we'll see what happens. I don't keep an eye on things in the chat. I'm a very we'll see what happens kind of person. Tax prep, not for me. Tax prep, good for some of you. It's going to be very good to some of you. A Clark, okay. A sideline hoe talking about banter. I don't even know what that means. Remove, report, put user. They're already hid. Oh, somebody already did it. Somebody who's an admin. Thank you, whoever did that. Thank you. I'm slow. Listen, we got important things to talk about. We got really important things to talk about. But I appreciate y'all for raising the red flag and letting me know. Roshni says, make me an admin. I think I can do it right now. Add as moderator. Done and done. And Ladybug77, thank you for handling that. Blocked. Okay. She's and Tori. Okay, y'all are here. Good morning. Thank you for letting me know. Listen, I don't care about a troll like that. I don't want y'all to be disturbed, but I also don't care about a troll. Listen. You can't get me, because I know what I know. So I'm not worried about you coming in here. But I don't want y'all to be disturbed. Solving the money problem. Okay. So often solving the money problem can be take your traditional job remote or get a truly remote job now. Sometimes for people like teachers or people with a really in-demand skill set, it is get a job in that country, teach at an international school, or it could be become a teacher, like an English as a second language teacher. One of the people in our teaching abroad panel she was not a teacher in the US. She got her English as a second language certification, ESL, TEFL. She got her TEFL, TEFL certification, and is now teaching at a school in Thailand, teaching English as a second language in Thailand. Okay, so we've talked about those categories. We talked about untraditional ways of working, like doing contract work. We've talked about starting a business, tax preparer, virtual assistant, freelancer, OnlyFans. Talk about calling me a hoe. OnlyFans, we have a session on, I shouldn't have said that. I regret saying that, but he did call me a hoe. We have a session on OnlyFans. That would have really upset him. The OnlyFans session would have really upset him. We have a session on OnlyFans for income, business things. We have sessions on getting a business starting a business so that you can go abroad. Solving the money problem in week 2 it doesn't mean you have to have the money in week 2, but it means you need to be on the path. It means you need to be on the pathway to making that money. Pick something. Like, seriously, pick something. Pick a thing that's going to be your thing and dive deep. Make money doing that thing. Some of you will want to pick two things. One that's a little more reliable in income, right? Starting a coaching business, we have a session on premium course creation. We have a session on Arlen Hamilton's teaching a session on memberships and community, paid memberships and paid communities, right? Those things can be less. Hoes gotta live, hoe gotta eat too. Everybody gotta eat. I'm pretty pro ho. I'm pretty pro ho. I just regret connecting that word and OnlyFans. I regret connecting those two things. I may have to go back and figure out how to edit that out. Mute myself for a little bit. I regret connecting those two things. I just mean he would have been upset. He called me a hoe when I was talking about virtual assistant work. Imagine how upset he would have been when I said OnlyFans. Okay? Yeah, I'm pro ho. I think, everybody gotta live. Let me focus. What was I saying? I was talking about the whatevers. I don't know. We're gonna start over. Reset the room. Let me drink some water and reset the room. I am pro ho. I feel like okay, we were talking about week 2, solving the money problems and various ways that we solve the money problems. Coaching, yes. And I was saying coaching, some things will take some time to grow. And some of you will want a little more steady or reliable income while you're doing the more unpredictable thing, right? You decide what things would be steady and reliable. Sometimes it's based on your network and your skill set, who you have, what clientele you could get, right? A more steady and reliable thing for me might not be steady and reliable for you. Trying to think of an example. So virtual assistant work was probably not the most reliable choice in the beginning because I didn't have clients. I didn't have a network of people who would have been good clients at that time, right? There was no community. I was not in community with coaches. I had to join communities of coaches and network inside of there. So that was less steady and reliable, but I was also a house sitter. And so that gave me free accommodation. So that was something reliable. I can get a house sit. It may not all be the most glamorous when when you need a house sit because you don't have money for your place to stay. Sometimes the houses are a little less glamorous, but I could always house sit. So that was my reliable thing. It's not income, but it's still money. Having a place to stay is still money. Reliable income. And then the virtual assistant, unreliable, but higher ceiling, higher potential. Some of us will kind of mix the two. I'm pro ho. Absolutely. Reliable and unreliable. I think that's enough on that. Money. What are our money questions for week 2? I wrote down, so okay. Oh, look, I wrote good notes. I just am not using them. So I wrote down a mix of like how to mix reliable and unreliable income, right? Teaching abroad and trading are two really good pairs. Teaching abroad, whether you're teaching English as a second language or you're teaching your subject at an international school because you're a teacher, that's reliable income. You got a contract, you got a job, in a place hopefully that you really like. Trading, unreliable. Terry Igioma is coming and teaching a session on trading, but the ceiling is pretty high, right? Same tutor, also tutoring English online through like Cambly or somebody. More reliable. Once you get some clients on Cambly, tutoring English online is more reliable than something like trading. They might pair very well together, right? I think a tax prep biz, so I wrote down the 3 T's: tax prep, teach abroad, and trading. I was being so clever last night. I would put tax prep is probably relatively reliable. You can find that out for yourself when Sharonda teaches the session in the summit. I think some of these in the summit, once you learn from the speaker, you decide which would be more reliable and which would be more of a risk, but also higher reward. I love a good high risk, high reward thing. I love it. Okay. I would call premium course creation high risk, high reward, or maybe not high risk. Maybe there's not a lot of risk. Let me let the teachers teach. Okay. Let me let the speakers speak. Let me not decide for you. Come to Exodus Summit 2025. Have a couple of things on your mind that you want to focus on, and let those sessions guide your decisions. We're still in week 2. The good news is Exodus Summit is only 2 weeks away anyway. So this is perfect timing for you. Week 2, solve the money deficit. Okay. Do I have Bitcoin? I won some Bitcoin through Cash App. Cash App used to do contests on Twitter, and I won some Bitcoin on Cash App. And every now and then they'll send me a little statement. It'll be like, boop, 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 boop. I think I won $100 of Bitcoin at the time. What was $100? And I don't think it's $100 anymore. I don't remember, but I know every month or every 3 months, they would send me an update, and it would be like the most unpredictable thing in the world. Okay, so here we go. I would do tax prep and writing as my 2. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. Exodus Summit is going to take some of y'all around the world. How do you become one of those some? How do you become one of those people? First of all, you have to get your ticket at exodussummit.com. You need to be available during the summit. Or if you're going to watch the replays, watch the replays. But still, if you're not available during the summit, which is October 10th through 13th, 2025, if you're not available to watch the sessions live, I would still block off a day, 2 days, 3 days, and focus on the sessions that you want to watch, right? Even if you're not going to be able to do it until October 18th, right? I would still block off some time and take it seriously like you're in school. This is a class and it happens. Put it on your schedule. Even if you're not available that weekend, put Exodus Summit on your schedule. Once you get your ticket, put it on your schedule for when you're going to have your Exodus Summit. When is my Exodus Summit? You maybe won't watch every session, but you're going to pick 3 to 5 sessions that are the most interest to you, and sit down and watch them like you're in training. Okay? How do you get results? I can do it. How do you get results? Oh, buy your ticket, block off time, take it seriously, do what the speakers tell you to do, right? Take notes, sure, take notes. Some of you are better with written notes. Some of you are better with audio notes. Take notes, but then do what they tell you to do. They're not coming in the summit to be like, you should look into this. They're coming to tell you how to get started, how to make your first dollars. Exodus Summit is about how to make your first dollars, at least, doing this thing. Do it, okay? Don't just come and say, oh, pick 1 session or 2 sessions and do it. You're in training. Tammy says you're in training to save your life and your sanity and your family. Do it, okay? Execute. Exodus, I've been saying this. I believe I'm very clever. Expectation plus execution equals your Exodus. Happy birthday, Katrina Michelle. Friends, it's Katrina's birthday. It's a real one's birthday, y'all. Where's she at? She's in Cambodia living her life. It's nighttime. Is it even still September 20? Is it even still your birthday? Happy birthday, Katrina. Y'all wish her happy birthday. Expectation plus execution equals exodus. Your exodus is just all it is expectation plus execution. That's all it takes, friends. I mean that. This is why we get so excited. I worked really hard this week and I lost my voice for a few hours. I talked so much. Okay. I worked really hard this week. The reason I'm working this hard is that there is exodus here. There is money here for you. There is a future life here for you in another place, in a country that's run better, with better people, better weather, better cost of living, better food, whatever your priorities are, better neighbors. The housekeeper, the apartment across the street from me, when I lift up my curtain sometimes in the morning, lift up my shade in the morning, sometimes they're there eating. Don't you know, today the housekeeper was already there and she waved at me, right? Then I came down here, sat down and put my makeup on and she's dusting the window, like watching me. Better neighbors, okay? Those things are waiting for you in your new country. Exodus Summit is a pathway to get you there, and I'm very excited about it. Rashida and I cannot wait for these sessions to happen. This week, I got to sit down and talk to a couple of the speakers. They're excited, right? We cannot wait for you to come to Exodus Summit 2025 and actually execute what you learn and then be out in the world. Be waving at your neighbors in Bogota, Colombia, or whatever you choose, okay? Tickets are at exodussummit.com. It's all online, October 10th through 13th. When you go to the website, click on schedule, you can go to exodussummit.com, click on the schedule at the top of the page. You'll see the schedule. You only need one session in there to be of interest to you for it to be worth the money, for you to know that you can get your money back. One session. If it's OnlyFans, how do I make sure that I get my money back from this session? You execute on what she's going to teach you. If it's tax preparer, if it's virtual assistant, if it's remote, LinkedIn for remote work, you execute. You're going to get your money back. Thank you. Oh, Summit is birthday gift to myself. Wonderful. And happy birthday. It's the birthday gang over here. Libra squad. Yeah, Libra. It'll still be Libra season. And yeah, when the summit. Yeah, Libra squad. Hello, Libra friends. Okay. Libra friends, y'all may take a little longer to purchase your tickets. That's the thing I know about Libras. Having a dear, dear Libra friend may take you a while to decide that you're coming. I want you to know prices will go up on October 10th. October 9th is the last day at this price. Okay. Put it on your calendar. Katrina said, listen, don't worry. She got her ticket. Katrina's out in the world already. I told y'all she's in Cambodia. She's been gone. It'll be almost 2 years soon. She's coming up on 2 years out in the world, traveling on her sabbatical. She still has her ticket to Exodus Summit. Okay. Thanks. See y'all. Very sweet people. I can't get it on the screen. Very sweet people. Okay. But y'all do take a little time to make your decisions. I will say. You do weigh the decisions back and forth. You can weigh your decisions back and forth, but go ahead and get your ticket before the price goes up. Okay. Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay. The Libras in the chat today have their tickets. Thank you. All right. All right. I've insulted my friends and my other group of friends. Let me get myself together. Week 2, we're solving the money problem. You can do that by just coming to Exodus Summit. Okay, Donna, Libra gang, y'all are ready. Okay, y'all are not going to let me slander you anymore. Week 3 of our 13-week Move Abroad plan. I promise you, we're not going to be here much longer. Okay, week 3, make a decision whether your home is a help or a hindrance to your move abroad and govern yourself accordingly. Or maybe neutral. Let's think about this. Help or hindrance. For some of you, your home is a really amazing investment tool, vehicle that is going to fund or fuel your future. Whether it's because you sell the home and you take that stash of cash or because you put some renters in the home. There's some women in, I met some women. I went to a meetup, an Exodus Summit meetup in Nashville. Hi, friends. Some of y'all I haven't talked to or heard from in a while. And a couple of the women there were talking about the Nashville market, and they cashed out and their lives are golden, Gucci good, okay, for the future. It might be Katrina sold her home, living, okay? For some of you, your home is actually a help. I know when you think about moving, you think, or moving abroad, you think about your home being in the way, but it's money, okay? It's money, it's dollar signs. Your home is as much cash money as any other cash money, right? Whether it's selling it, whether it's renting it out, okay? When is your home a hindrance? Friends, some of you have the grand master plan of keeping your home and putting family, leaving your adult children or your some family members in the home, and you carrying the cost of that home plus your new home. And then that doesn't mean it's impossible, because I've talked to quite a few women who that's their plan. That's not impossible. It just means that your week 2, your money deficit is going to be significantly higher, right? Your home can be a hindrance to your move abroad, but you can move it into the help category if you solve the money problem, or the neutral category at least. I think that's neutral. Your home, you deciding that you're going to keep your home and those expenses and live in a new place is not a stop sign to your move abroad. It just means you're going to have to solve a larger money problem. Your money equation is going to be bigger, okay? Rashida's session in Exodus Summit 2025 is on the math, doing that money math, okay? So some of you, I quite a few women, are the younger, the 20 somethings, money is hard for them. So a lot of the women in this community who have kids who are 20 somethings, that's their plan. Keep the home and wherever and be out in the world. It's going to create a larger equation for you. Not impossible. Women are doing it. Okay. Women are doing it. I'm just saying you need to know if your home is a help or a hindrance to your, or neutral for your move abroad. Week 3, we're also going to deal with the stuff. This is deal with your stuff is week 0 through 575. You're going to be dealing with your stuff for quite a while. The actual stuff in your home, your furniture, your decor, your clothes, your papers, your photos and mementos. You're going to be dealing with your stuff for quite a while. Start today. If you didn't start yesterday, start today. Even if it's 20 minutes a day, start today with your stuff. Okay. I know I put it on week 3, but that's because it can be unmotivating if you don't yet know that it's possible and you haven't figured out where the money's going to come from. Even if you don't have the money, you have a plan for the money in week 2. So in week 3, let's go ahead and start dealing with our stuff. Are there things you can give away today? Are there things you can sell today? Are there things you can trash today? Right? Make a plan for every item. Listen, storage as a move abroad plan, right? Putting items in storage as a move abroad plan means get your calculator out. Get your calculator out. Calculate how much a storage unit will cost you times 12 months times 5 years. If you put anything in storage, calculate 5 years of storage. Okay. People, when I say that, people think I'm exaggerating. I just talked to somebody yesterday who has had things in storage for 5 years, just yesterday. A whole new person, a person I'd never spoken to before, a whole 5 years. Okay. You think it's going to be 1 year, calculate 5 years, 60 months. Okay. And then look at that stuff and decide if it's worth that. Okay. 60 months of storage. That's what it's going to be. As soon as you close the door on that storage container, 60 months. Rashni said it also means double moving. You're going to move twice. So start today. If we have 13 weeks, okay, start today, and every day you're going to be working on this stuff. Get some help. Get some people in who to help you. Don't do it by yourself. Okay? If you're leaving with storage, if you're leaving the United States with things still in storage, calculate what 60 months is. Get as little in storage as you possibly can. Get the smallest container you can, because it's going to be 60 months. Raven said when she put her items in storage, it was $55 a month. 2 years later, it was $300 a month. So also you're going to need to calculate the increase in storage. I don't even know how you do that. Okay. I don't know how you do that. I don't even know. Okay. I didn't have any money. I put things in storage once when I got out of the Army. I've never had enough money to store items. So I avoided that just by being broke. Okay. I avoided the storage fiasco. I have my parents. I have basically my storage facility is the upstairs of my parents' house, the closet. Every time I walk in there, I'm like, I didn't think there was that much in here. What's happening? I didn't think there was that much stuff in here. Okay. Okay. Week 3, we're making a plan for our home and all of our stuff, a plan for everything. Okay. Week 4, we're going to work on residency. Do you need it? And how do you get it? Most of you would benefit from some time when you don't live in a place. You just bop around. I say this as a person who bopped around for 9 3/4 years without my own home, without my own place, just suitcases and going back to my parents' house to re-up to when I got sick of the clothes in my suitcase and needed different clothes, right? Most of you will enjoy that more than you will picking a place today and moving to that place. Sometimes you want to see what's out there. See what you like. You don't even know what you like yet. Okay? And so residency visas for some of you can be put off, but not for all of you. Some of you know where you want to go and you know you want to stay there. You know your US passport will say you can only be there for 3 months. And so you want to live there, you're going to have to get residency. But for others, it may not be a thing that you need to navigate quickly. Now, I will say we're in very shaky times. And if you have a US passport, it may be the time to get a residency visa as a backup, right? A place that'll take you in if, listen, I need to sit down somewhere and I'm an American and they don't like us anymore and I need some legal documentation. It may be time to get a backup residency, even if it's to a place you don't plan on living. The thing about residency visas is some countries, once you get residency, they make you live there. Other countries, you can get residency and they don't care. They don't care if you live there. They don't even care if you come back, right? I believe Costa Rica makes you visit once a year if you have residency in Costa Rica. I believe. Mexico, they don't seem to care one way or another what you do right now. Ecuador, Panama have a reputation. You need to do your research. You need to find out if these things are true. But Ecuador and Panama have a reputation of also being like, do what you want. You welcome, do what you want. Come when you feel like it, don't come. Portugal has a strict requirement, right? You need to spend X number of days per year in this country when you have this residency visa, or you no longer have this residency visa. So week number 4, we're going to deal with residency. If you want to bop around, you may want to secure an easy to get and inexpensive and easy to qualify for residency visa. Right now, in our community, now, if you're not in the Exodus Summit community at exodussummit.com/community, you're missing out on conversations. Right now in our community, Ecuador is on the rise. Ecuador is on the rise. Lorana, who is in Cuenca, Ecuador, who lives in Cuenca, but she's not there right now, I don't think. Lorana, who lives in Cuenca, Ecuador, or she might be. I just saw a reel from her the other day on Instagram. And Deborah, who is in Manta, Ecuador. They have been banging the drum for Ecuador. So Ecuador is on the rise in our community. You may want to secure some residency visa while you can. Mexico is awfully popular, super popular, but their requirements, their financial requirements are higher than you might think, right? The financial requirements to get residency in Mexico are significant, right? Whereas Ecuador and Panama, somewhere around $1,000 a month in income can mean you qualify for residency there. Lots, and there are other countries too, right? I've only named 5 countries for residency. There's lots of countries in the world. Residency is a thing, week 4, for you to sit down and figure out. Do you need it? If so, where should you get it? How do you qualify? How do you start the process? How do you complete the process? We're on week 5 of our 13-week plan. Week 5, figure out your healthcare plan. Let me tell you your healthcare plan, okay? Your healthcare plan will be to get some sort of nomad insurance until you settle in a place. World Nomads and Safety Wing and Alliance have popular nomad insurance. Yeah, Rashida says, where can you get it and where do you want it? I'm standing by the fact that most of you don't know where you want it yet because you haven't been out of the United States freely bopping around the world. Most of you should be nomads. I think most of you, as a person, I will tell you, right? I will tell you what I think. I will give you, I'm bossy. I'm the bossy. I've been labeled bossy forever. Okay, so the bossy one is saying, you don't know where you want it, right? You don't know yet. And that's fine. You can be out in the world and not know where you want to go. Just try one place and then another and then another. Then you'll know where you want it. If you already know where you want it, go for it. All right, week 5, healthcare. Get you some nomad insurance that covers you while you bop around the world. When you land on a place, get you private insurance in that place and live your life. If you have pressing healthcare needs, if healthcare has to determine or dictate parts of your life today, right? Then you'll need to do some more research. You need to make sure that you can find doctors for this particular thing where you're going. You can, okay? If you're going to a major city around the world, you're going to find good health. If there are rich people in that city, there's good healthcare in that city. And there's rich people in every city I've been to, right? You can find good healthcare and it can be much more accessible, much more affordable. I know this figure from 2015 when I was in Thailand. A broken arm, you ride on your motorbike and you break your arm. A broken arm in Thailand costs about $800 to $1,000 out of pocket with no insurance, right? Around the world, you can survive out of pocket for things in the United States that might financially bankrupt you. But I wouldn't recommend it. Go ahead and get insurance, right? Get you a nomad insurance for when you're bopping. Get you private insurance when you land in a place. My private insurance, Krishan said her private insurance the other day, her figure was lower than I would have expected. I'm paying $800 for a year in Colombia. Hers was less than that. Krishan, she gonna get some bougie healthcare. Krishan is Black Set Global. I was interviewed on her YouTube channel the other day, and her number was lower than mine. And my insurance is $1,800 for a year. My insurance in Colombia includes travel insurance. So healthcare, week 5, solve the healthcare problem. And it can be as simple as finding nomad insurance, looking up who are the insurance carriers in that country once I become a resident. Who are the insurance carriers? Some countries you need insurance even before you get residency. Colombia required me to have insurance before I even apply for residency. And then pay out of pocket if you want. She's $1,300 a year. That surprised me. I was like, oh, okay. I know. Well, Rick and Halisi together, their insurance is around They told theirs is around 2,000 a year for the two of them, right? Okay, private insurance, which is healthcare is going to be so much easier to navigate than you think. So week 5, all you need to do, find some nomad insurance. And if you know what country you're going to, find out who the insurance providers are there. See if you can get a quote, maybe. You may be able to get a quote, you may not until you get there. Okay? All right. Travel Gal said my root canal was more than that. Krishan paid $1,300 a year for insurance, for full medical insurance. My root canal for one tooth cost me more than that. Right? So KO, I would so in Mexico, when my mom and I were in Mexico, we ran into a man who had some sort of, Mom, do you remember what he had? Some sort of neck surgery. And he was out walking around the next day in the store. I would pick a city that you're going to want to spend some time in, and then look for the doctors in that city. There may be a better way to do it, but there's good doctors everywhere. Any major city with rich people is going to have good doctors and good care. Maybe that's not the approach. Maybe you should do the opposite, but that's what I would do. I would pick any major city and then look for the good doctors in that city. So people ask a lot about like where do they focus on this and where do they focus on that? Everywhere, right? Where do they specialize in? Where do they specialize in dental care? Where do they specialize in vision? Where do they specialize in what? Everywhere, everywhere. If there's rich people there, they specialize in that. You can find the best doctors or the good doctors in that region or the good hospitals in that region. That's week 5, healthcare. Week 6, people and pets. Week 6 is, what am I going to do about my people and my pets? If you have children who are school aged, what do you think your plan is going to be to school them? This used to be a harder thing, but since COVID, parents are really down with homeschooling, online schooling, something else. Some women in our community enroll their kids in school in the city, in the country they moved to, right? Just like kids move to the United States and they get put in the English as a second language program. Kids move to Mexico and they get put in the Espanol as a second language program, right? Or you can put them in a private school. Being native English speakers means that when we go places around the world, the international schools have programs in our language, right? International schools here in Bogota. I know the prices. So I told y'all the other day that a daycare here was what was the number? $350 for the full month, including meals. The international school here was around $6,000 per year or per semester for the bougie popular international school with stuff in English, right? I think it might have been $6,000 a year for there's a bougie school, right? You can tell it's bougie. So whether it's put your kids in international school, put your kids in a local school, homeschool them, online school them. Some of your home states have an online school and they can keep going to school there online, right? That's a thing that is navigatable. And so we're going to put that on week 6. If it's pets, you need to know the country's requirement for your pets. This is a group of people who it's probably easier to sit down, to go somewhere and stay than it is to bop around. I'm not saying it's impossible to bop around with pets, because Kioka, who is awkward Black nomad, did it with Frank and Bernie. She has 2 little dogs. But especially if you have big dogs, a big dog, it's probably easier to move someplace than it is to travel full time, to be a nomad. So find out, what is that country's requirement for entry for your pet? And also, what is the airline's requirement? You need to deal with multiple agencies to move with pets. So week 6, navigate the people and the pets. If it's seniors, if you're talking about your parents, what would it look like to have a healthcare worker in the house? In Colombia, listen, when I go outside and walk around, what I see is old people walking, holding the arm of their little nurse or whoever she is, right? They got a healthcare worker, okay? And when I walk down these cobblestone, not cobblestone, but like these streets with the uneven pavement, I hold on to my nurse. What would that cost? or what would a facility, right? That maybe you're moving to a country, but you're moving your parents with you. What would a facility cost there? We're going to put that on week 5 of our 13-week plan. No, week 6. Week 7 through 13, we're going to work on fear. That's all I got. That's the end. I know I said 13 weeks, but some of these things will take you through the rest of the time. The money, you're going to keep working on the money over and over and over again. Their home and your stuff, you're going to keep working on that over and over and over. Residency, if you're getting it, it may take you several weeks to complete it. Healthcare, it's not going to take you that long to figure that out. But next, we're just going to work on fear. We're going to work on doing a thing even though we're afraid. That's it. That's our 13-week Move Abroad plan. We have figured out where we want to go based on our needs. We've gotten in community with people there who will help answer our questions. We've gotten an assessment of what we do have in our working in our favor. Then week 2, we solve the money problem on paper. I'm not saying in 1 week you make enough money. Maybe on OnlyFans, you might make enough money to live the rest of the year. I don't know you, okay? But week 2, you're at least solving where is the money going to come from. Week 2. Week 3, you're making a plan for your home and all of your stuff. Week 4, you're getting your residency visa if you need it, or you're deciding if you need it. Week 5, you're starting the process. Week 5, healthcare, figure it out. I already told you the answer. Week 5 is done, okay? I've told you the answer. Week 6, make plans for your people and your pets. Week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You get a little more comfortable doing things you're afraid of doing. That's our 13-week Move Abroad plan. That's our 13-week move, 90 days. Your stuff is going to take a lot of time, okay? Your stuff is actually weeks 1 through 150, okay? Your stuff is going to take a lot of time. But that's our plan. Congratulations. You now have a peace out protocol. Ask me some questions. Oh, see, Snow retires on Tuesday. Congratulations. Let's get it. Let's get it. Where are you bobbing to first? Abba. Hi, Abba. I don't know where you are. Are you back in the US today? Abba says, my blood was running cold. I was so scared. You'll be absolutely fine. Okay. Stay tapped in. Community will help with that. So what I think a problem is that some of us didn't really start teaching and talking about our move abroad, our sabbatical, our whatever, until after we did it. And so you don't know how fearful, how afraid, how nervous, how scared we were. I was very afraid, very afraid. But I had a feeling it would be worth it. It turns out it was much more worth it than I thought. But it turns out it was worth it. We do things that we're afraid of all the time. Some of you have delivered babies. You didn't wait until you were not afraid to deliver that baby, right? You just pushed it out because it was time. We got to do this. If we waited until we were not afraid, people would stay pregnant for 80 years. People would die still pregnant. We do things all the time when we're still afraid of them. It's kind of how we've lived our lives, especially when it comes to doing things for other people, right? You drop your kid off at college, you're not ready. You're afraid. You drop them off. Some of y'all were absolutely ready. Some of you were more than ready, but others, you're not ready for this. It's just the time to do it. It's just the time to move. You don't have to be unafraid. You're not going to be unafraid. People who aren't afraid probably don't have a real grasp of reality. Now I'm insulting the people who aren't afraid. Listen, I'm just checking them off today. I promise you, I'm a nice person. There are people who are not afraid, maybe. I've never met them. I know that. We're afraid, but we know it's going to be worth it on the other end. Okay, so week 7 through 13, practice doing things that you're afraid to do. Might be a small thing. Some of you I've heard, some people I've heard, I don't think this is a Black woman thing. Is this anybody here? Some people are afraid to go out to eat by themselves. I don't think that's I don't think that's us. I don't, we like a little peace of mind and a good meal and whatever. But maybe, right? Start with things you're afraid to do one at a time. It's a muscle. It's a muscle. Once you do a thing you're afraid to do and you survive it and it works out, then you do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Hi, Goni 2702. I talked earlier about remote work as part of this peace out protocol, as part of the step week 2, finding out where the money is going to come from, solving that money deficit. For some women, or for remote work, we have a couple of sessions in Exodus Summit 2025 that I think will be helpful. Let me remember them. We have a session on LinkedIn, leveling up your LinkedIn for remote job search. LinkedIn is where people are finding jobs. LinkedIn and their network is how people are getting jobs. They're not getting jobs through the standard way, right? Filling out the application and the whatever is just a step. If you don't have LinkedIn and a network, it's not working. And so we have a session in Exodus Summit 2025 on LinkedIn. And then we have a session on simple certifications. Coach Vet Jet is talking about some simple certifications that you can get that will make you more remote work hireable. And we're not talking about certifications that are going to take you 2 years, right? We're talking about days or weeks of time to get certifications that make you more hireable for remote work. I feel like there were 3 sessions that I said were remote work helpful. Those are the 2 I recall. Certifications, LinkedIn, maybe 2. Those 2. If I knew that a remote job was my way, right? I don't want to do tax preparer or coaching or any of the other things on the Exodus Summit list. If I don't want to do any of those other things, then I would focus on the remote job. Exodus Summit 2025 is on negotiation. Thank you. Negotiation, Jacqueline V. Twilley, her session on negotiating better money, negotiating better benefits, which may include truly remote work. Yes, those are the 3 sessions for those of you who think remote work is your pathway. It's not starting a business. It's not teaching abroad. It's not OnlyFans. Let's get on remote work. Those are the 3 sessions that I would register for Exodus Summit to attend. I would star them on my calendar. I would make sure I was there when they were happening online live. And I would make sure I watch the replay, make sure I take notes, make sure I get into an accountability group regarding that thing. Okay. Thanks, Rashida. Okay. That's what I would do if that's my plan. Okay. Which sessions for retired people? Hi, Benita. Adelia's session on putting your money to work. Adelia's session on getting the dividends from the money you do have. Absolutely. Is a session for retired people. We have a session from a tax planner or tax doer. Expat taxes. Makara is a tax person. She does taxes. She's a money person. Listen, recall. I'm 51 now. Okay. My ability to recall words is not where it used to be. Help me. Okay. Help. Thank you. Thank you. Tax strategist, Makara. Okay. So taxes are a thing. There's money in moving abroad. There's a little money. If taxes are given, there's a little profit to be made from leaving the United States. When you're out of the United States for X number of days per year, your tax burden for the first X number of dollars you make, I don't know if it's 60,000, 100,000, two, I don't know. Your tax burden on that shrinks significantly. Like federal tax burden at 0. Let me let her teach it. Let Makara teach the session, okay? Because I'll make up a number in a minute. I'll be like, first 80K, I don't know what it is. ExodusSummit.com is where you go to register for Exodus Summit 2025. Those are the sessions for retired people who don't need to make another dollar. If you don't need to make, and Rashida's session on calculating your costs. Rashida's session relocation math, knowing your move abroad numbers. If you're retired and that pension and that Social Security is good and you're not worried about making another dollar, those are the sessions I would focus on in Exodus Summit 2025. Maybe you do want to make another dollar, and so you'll come and watch some of the other sessions. But if not, then those are the ones that stand out for me. If you have your retirement money, if you have your move abroad money. Summit is not inclusive. What do you mean, Blake? Ask me a question in a different way. I don't understand that question. The community is exodussummit.com/community. We've moved off of Facebook, exodussummit.com/community. And you register for Exodus Summit 2025 at exodussummit.com. That link is already in the description of this video. And I'm gonna put it here now, exodussummit.com. It's online October 10th through 13th. Okay. Hi. Hi, Nat. Blake, ask me that a different way. I don't know what you mean. Eve, I missed you in Lake Chapala a few years ago. Now I'm ready. I looked back at those pictures not too long ago. I think I'm still in the Lake Chapala meetup group. So I told y'all I believe in getting in communities in places, and most of them will happen to be on Facebook. And I'm still in the Lake Chapala Facebook group, and I think I saw some pictures there recently. I was like, I can't believe it's been that long since I've been there. I can't believe it's such an adorable little town. I love it. And the women there were amazing. They have an amazing community of Black women. We talk a lot about San Miguel de Allende. We talk a lot about Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Lake Chapala and Lake Chapala and Ajijic, Mexico. They have a lovely community of Black women who get together and live their lives there. You have to be, I think, retirement age. I think you probably retirement age women and older, like Lake Chapala, whereas San Miguel is more popular with all ages. Does credit score matter everywhere? No, nowhere. Well, years ago, South Africa, Keena Williams said one place in South Africa when she went to rent, they looked up her US credit score. Nowhere else. Because believe me, nobody's credit score is worse than Stephanie Perry's credit score. And I'm living a nice life. No, nobody. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. My landlord was just like, give me 4 months rent. They originally were like, you don't have your residency yet. Give us 6 months rent. And I was like, how about 3 months? And they were like, oh, okay. I think 6 or 5. They asked for 5 or 6 first. I was like, how about 3? And they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. People without a safety net. So Blake, I've named like more than half of the sessions at exodussummit.com. I would go and look and see if any of these resonate. If any of these are ways that you want to make your money. Teaching abroad, I think you seem to be a younger person. Teaching abroad, I think, is a wonderful way for younger people to go. Not that it's only for younger people, but I think younger people should use it more, right? Get the teaching English as a foreign language certification. Get you a job at a school teaching English as a foreign language somewhere in the world and live your life. If I were a younger person, okay, so you have a service animal. So then, yeah, I would do that. I was going to say, if I were a younger person, I would either do that or I would bop around with a service animal. It's going to be harder to bop around, right? So I would get a job in a place. You don't look your age? Okay, listen, girl. I had told myself to stop guessing Black women's ages because I'll be like, she's 26. And she'll be like, I'm going to my granddaughter's high school graduation. You never know. I can't tell. So, okay, you already have a remote job. I would go. If you have a remote job, as in you can be somewhere, you can leave, not a remote job as in I have to sit in my house and work, but a remote job as in they don't care if I'm in Portugal or Panama or Puerto Vallarta, right? I would find a second way to make money. So we talked about the safer way and the more rewarding or risky way. I would consider a second way. If you're talking about you don't have a safety net, and if that job goes away, you're stuck out in the world with no money, I would look at Exodus Summit sessions and see if any of these fit. Are any of these ways that I would like to make a little bit of money? Learn how to make a little bit of money doing that thing today. Maybe you can put it to the side and never have to worry about it until you need to use the money, or you keep doing it a little bit here and there, right? Maybe you're a virtual assistant who has one client and they book 5 hours per week, right? You answer their email and you set up their social media posting calendar. That's, and you do 5 hours per week. And then if you ever needed more money, you know how to get clients and do more. Some things you can dial up and down. Some things I don't know if you can dial them up and down. A premium course creation business, right? The session on premium course creation with Dr. Sonia. I don't know if you can be like, oh, I'm not really focused on it, but then now I need the money. Now I'm going to focus on it. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm going to let her teach it. I promise I'm going to let her teach it. But as a bossy person who will tell you what I think, even if I don't know, I'm going to tell you what I think, even if I don't know. That's what I think. I think there are sessions in Exodus Summit that would lend themselves to, I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm going to make a few dollars doing it, and then I'm going to pause it. And there are some sessions that are not pausable. You got to go. I don't mean go as in burn yourself out. I just mean you got to keep going. I think in the coaching and the community and the paid membership space, oh girl, I'm an executive assistant. It's always the people who have the most skill set. The people with the most skill set who are like, well, what do I do? That's what you do. Okay, so you're an executive assistant, you're already remote, you know how to get, or hopefully you learn how to get another client, right? If you're already remote and you have a job, then what you need to learn in that virtual assistant session, learn how to get a client on your own. If that's your concern, being an executive assistant with an employer, and you want to learn how to get a client on your own, that virtual assistant session, you'll be good to go. Okay. Problem solved. We solved that problem. We solved that problem. All right. Okay, friends, how are we doing with questions? What time is it? 10:30, 10:45. Good Lord. All right. Yeah, Vanessa says, my US remote job doesn't allow her to go outside of the US, right? There are employers who are location agnostic. And so if what you want is a different remote job, those are the sessions I would focus on. The remote job sessions are the negotiation session. So sometimes it's like a matter of negotiating remote as a benefit. I would go to the LinkedIn session, and then I would go to the certification session at Exodus Summit 2025. We're getting out, Benita. Okay. I'm doing what I can do. I can't make anybody take any action, but I can tell them what steps to take. And I can share and show what other women's experiences are, right? I'm one person. So when I share my experience of loving my life outside of the United States, I mean, y'all take it, you hear it. But on this channel, I've interviewed hundreds of people. I'm in the hundreds of videos category. I've interviewed 100, let's say 100 Black women who are somewhere else in the world, whether it's permanent or temporary. And so I'm doing what I can do. I can't do the work for anybody else, though. I can't get you out. I can't get anyone out. Your comment is get us. I can't get you out. I can't make people see the importance. I can't make anyone see the urgency or the importance of leaving. I can't make you. If you're determined to wait things out and see what happens, I can't change that. Also, I don't feel obligated to. There are Black women who in this space would be frantic today. who would be organizing this and that and whatever, I feel good about the work I've done. On my last day, no regrets. No regrets on my last day. I feel good about the work I've done. I feel good about the platform I've built. I can only do what I can do. I'm the daughter of a person who would be, if Connie Perry was me in this space today in her 40s and 50s. In her 60s, she switched into no mode. Instead of go mode, she did switch into no mode. But if I was Connie Perry, oh man, I would be burnt out and exhausted, and I would be flying back and forth to the US, and I would be doing this and that and all that other stuff. But you know what? I do what I can do. I do, and I'm going to live my life and enjoy my life. Because what's the point of telling you to leave if I'm just going to burn out and die? Well, we actually already do have a bonus salon. Oh, bonus salon. No announcements on salons. I didn't read that. I thought you were talking about, we do have a bonus session listed on ExodusSummit.com. One of the bonus sessions is scheduled and listed on ExodusSummit.com, but not the, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's already listed. Do you want to see the website? Have y'all even been over there? How many of you have not even been to the website? Listen, I'm telling you about this amazing resource that Black women are coming together to give to you. Some of you haven't even clicked on ExodusSummit.com yet. If I can figure this out, how to share my screen, I'll show you. I think I have enough internet juice. My internet seems to have been good today. Present, share screen, share screen. Google Chrome is requesting, I don't know if I can share my screen. When, I got a new computer and everything needs permission over and over again. Let's see. Are y'all seeing this? This tab is sharing your screen. Okay, let me embiggen it because I can't see myself. Normally, can't you see yourself when you're sharing a screen? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So when you go to ExodusSummit.com, you see the prices. Again, these prices will go up. Every single price goes up on October 10th. October 9th is the last day at these prices. The $109 weekend pass means you get to all of the summit sessions. You get replays through October 31st, 2025. All access pass means all of the summit sessions plus some bonuses plus replays through September of 2026. Bonus salons and breakout rooms are happening. And so far, we have one bonus country matchmaking workshop scheduled for November 2nd, 2025. Country matchmaking workshop. So we talked today about what are your needs and what country is right for you and what questions should you be asking. We're doing a bonus workshop for the all access pass holders and the accelerator bundle holders on November 2nd. We hope to be announcing some other bonuses. We'll let you know. Okay. So let's go up to the top and look at the schedule. The speakers, yeah. Okay. So Rachel Rogers is our keynote speaker. Dr. Sonia Murray's session is on creating premium online courses. I thought I changed that yesterday to the word premium. We changed all these talk titles yesterday and they're still back to where they were. Maybe I didn't hit enter. Dr. Sonia Murray is on, her session is on creating premium courses. Your knowledge is currency. Shakira's session is on full-time pay, working part of the year, doing some sort of consulting or contract work, normally in the US, where you get paid more, as much as or more than a full-time salary, even though you're only working for weeks or months out of the year. You take that money, you go to Guadalajara, Mexico, you live your life for the rest of the year. Portia's session is on leveling up your LinkedIn for job search. Jacqueline Twilley's session, don't leave money on the table, negotiate better pay. My session is on YouTube as your sales team. YouTube, if you're doing premium course creation, if you're doing memberships, if you're doing freelancing, how do you find your clients? The answer is YouTube. My session is on YouTube. I'm also doing a session on house sitting, but that'll be a pre-recorded session that you'll receive sometime. You'll receive during the summit. We have our panel on teaching abroad. 2 of our teachers were teachers or administrators in the United States and are teaching abroad. And then one of our teachers was not a teacher, got her TEFL certification, is teaching in Thailand. So this is a session that is more accessible than you think. This is a session for teachers and administrators and also just native English speakers, right? Our session with Regina Dillard on launching your virtual assistant career. I've talked a lot about that today. I'm very excited because virtual assistant is how I made my first dollars when I didn't have a job. This is the session on about taxes, about expat taxes. Okay, Makara's session is about expat taxes, and there's a little bit of money there. There's a little extra. There's a little less. There's a significantly less. You pay significantly less taxes when you don't live in the United States. Simple certifications to get remote work with Coach Vet Jet. And we're talking simple and fast certifications. We're talking weeks or days to get a certification. We're not talking about certifications that are going to take you forever. Ink to Income, becoming a freelance writer with Halana Black. Halana's session will focus on freelance writing, but we'll also talk about some things will be helpful for other types of freelancers, but she's going to talk primarily about freelance writing and magazine writing for magazines. Rashida's session, Relocation Math, knowing your move abroad numbers. You don't know how much money you need, right? We're talking about solving the money deficit. How much money do I need? Well, you don't know until you do your numbers. You don't even know. You might think you need $4,500. We talked earlier about who was it? My rent is $4,500 a month and whatever. You don't know how much you need in a new place until you do the math. This is Exodus After Dark, Courage and Cash Flow, Bands Beyond Borders with OnlyFans. Mo the Goddess is coming in to teach OnlyFans. Mo is 55, about to turn 55 years old, okay? This is not only a young girl's game, okay? She's about to have her double nickel birthday OnlyFans session. Very exciting. Okay. Taxpreneur, virtual tax preparation business. This is Sharonda's session. Tax preparer is relatively seasonal, and that money can carry you for the rest of the year if you want it to, if you're in the right location. Adelia's session is on putting your money to work, how to get income and interest from your money. Dasha Kennedy, who is the broke Black girl, her session is on rebuilding your relationship with money. We're going to talk about actual money strategies that you may not be putting into place, ways that money might be slipping through your fingers. Arlen Hamilton, Connections and Capital, the business of community building and memberships. Arlen has membership. Arlen is an investor. People love to learn from her. And so she's put her knowledge, her intellectual property behind the walls of communities and memberships. You join her memberships in her communities to learn from her, and that's her money-making strategy. If you have a thing that you want to build community around, you should also, let me get back on the screen for this. Wait. If you have a thing that you want to build community around, you should have that should be your income source. We shouldn't be out here changing people's lives and then worrying about how we're going to cover our bills. Okay? You shouldn't be out here giving people the keys to the best future they could possibly have. You shouldn't be out here facilitating and affecting significant change in people's lives and then worrying about how you're going to eat. That's the trick of the enemy, okay? We might learn from other people that Black women shouldn't get paid for what they know and what they do. We should just be giving and freely giving. That's a lie. I know what it's like to have people in your crying in your face about how you've saved their life. It would suck for me to be also at that same time thinking, well, how do I pay my rent this month? That is not the way to do it. That's not what we do here. This session on community and membership, some of you think you're discounting it because you don't think it's possible to have a paid community regarding whatever your thing is. But what if you're not paid for being helpful to other people? What should you be paid for then? If it's not being compensated for helping people, then what else should you be compensated for? I had to get back on screen. I don't know how to have, let me see. I can get us both on screen. Here we go. Okay. I'm learning. I'm new to live streaming. Okay. I'm learning how to live stream as we go. All right. Terry Agioma's session on trading and investing. This is one that I've been resistant to the idea of trading, but now I think I'm ready. So Terry's session is one that I have starred on my schedule. And then of course the wrap-up session. Okay. All right. That's Exodus Summit 2025. We do have the bonus workshop. We will have salons for all access pass holders, the bonus workshop plus the salons for all access pass holders. And if we have another bonus to share, we'll tell you. Okay. Don't worry. Well, you don't know. Maybe you will get a surprise bonus. You might get a surprise bonus. You might not. We'll tell you. Okay. Exodus Summit 2025. Tickets are at exodussummit.com. You may not know this, but it's almost October. Okay, friends. So those of you who are waiting, get your ticket. It's almost October. Sessions start on October 10th. Price also goes up on October 10th. Okay, it's time. Donated tickets. So in this community, Black women put money together so that other Black women can attend Exodus Summit with Black women who otherwise would not be able to afford to attend. They're not free tickets, they're donated tickets. And when you buy your ticket to Exodus Summit, you're asked if you want to put some money towards a donated ticket. Some of you have been doing that. We appreciate that. Thank you. When it's time, Rashida will let you know if you're a Black woman who would not otherwise be able to attend Exodus Summit and you want to request is not the word, request a donated ticket. Rashida will tell you how, but there are never enough donated tickets. If you're thinking about it and you're swinging it, I wouldn't rely on a donated ticket as your pathway to attending the summit. All right. Price goes up on October 9th. On October 10th, if you can get your ticket to Exodus Summit, get your weekend pass to Exodus Summit. There will be donated weekend passes, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get that. Okay. How will you know when it's time? Inside of our community at exodussummit.com, Rashida will say, okay, here's how you request one of these donated tickets. So Rashida, okay, so Blake, inside of exodussummit.com/community, right? Our community is exodussummit.com/community. Rashida will be like, okay, here's how many we have. Let us know if you need it. But remember, there are always more people who request it than there are donated tickets. If you can get your ticket to Exodus Summit, go ahead and get it. There's no session that won't get you your money back if you do what they teach you. If it's a session that's for you, the virtual assistant session, there's no session in Exodus Summit 2025 that won't get you your money back. If you want to use I understand these things have a negative reputation, but if you want to use Klarna or Afterpay to get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025, if you pick out a session and you take your notes and you implement, right? Expectation plus execution, you'll get your money back from that session, right? The OnlyFans teacher, the virtual assistant teacher, the tax preparer teacher, the teaching abroad teacher, you're going to get your money back. Okay? That's the thing. Are you allowed to have your daughters attend with you? It's online. If your daughters are adults, register them, get them a ticket. If your daughters are children, you probably don't want them around. If your daughters are children, you probably don't want to be focused on caring for them while attending the summit. This is a class, a weekend of classes. Are your daughters allowed? Let me answer this. I'm alienating everybody today. I feel it. I feel it. If your daughters are children, absolutely. Remember that you're going to want to be focused. Oh, Patty, thank you very much. So I'll go ahead and put that into the fund. Thank you very much for that, Patty J. I appreciate you. So Patty has donated this is more than one weekend pass because we do the weekend passes at a discounted rate, right? So the money that people put towards the weekend pass, you don't need to put, even though the weekend pass is $109, you don't need to put $109 towards the thing to get somebody a whole ticket. So thank you very much for that, Patty. That's more than a ticket. We appreciate you. Thank you. On the Exodus Summit site, you'll see the thing that says, do you want to donate a ticket? I don't know if it uses the word donate or gift, and you can put $1, right? It all adds up. It all adds up. It's something that this community has done since the very first summit, and we're on summit number 6. So since the very first summit, this community has done that. We pay our speakers, we pay our admin team, and then you gift tickets to people. And we appreciate the way that this community comes together. Rashida called Exodus Summit a black ass event the other day. If you're concerned, so I talked on my other channel. Let me tell you this. We got to go. I got to go. But I talked on my other channel. I have a second channel called Stephanie Perry Media. And I talked about how you go to Black women's events and then the people there working are not Black women, or you go to their online classes, you sign up for their class, and then the co-teacher is not a Black woman. And you're like, well, what? I wanted my money to go to Black women. You ain't got to worry. Exodus Summit, our entire admin team, which has grown, our entire speaker lineup, our entire founders corner, we're all Black women. You ain't got to worry about that. It's hard to keep money in Black spaces when you patronize Black women's businesses. The money stays in Black world a little bit longer. Especially the women in our space are into buying from other Black women. So the money stays in longer. Yes, CK is asking how to gift a ticket to a specific person. Usually what people do is they go ahead and buy the ticket and then they email hello@exodussummit.com and then they tell us who they want to gift it to. I think that's the easiest way to gift a ticket to a specific person. If you want to buy a ticket for someone, that's generally how it happens. There may be a way on the website. Let's see. When you go to the top corner and the drop-down box, there is a thing about, no, there's nothing about gifting a ticket. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way. There is a transfer. So we've never done this before. On the website, once you have your ticket and you go to the drop-down box, you're in the top corner, you know how to do that. Under my purchases, there is a ticket transfer. Let me click on it and see what it does. If you need to assign this ticket to someone else, enter their email address and name, and then hit transfer. We've never done that. You're welcome to try that as well. You're welcome to try to do it on the website, but just go ahead and buy the ticket yourself. You need to know their name and their email address. And then hit the transfer and see what happens. Hey Summit is the platform that we use, and they're pretty proactive in terms of creating things that would be very helpful. So you try that. If it doesn't work, Email hello@exodussummit.com. We have a donate. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I'll do that because if some people may want to donate who don't want to buy a ticket, I'll do that because we have one of those buy me a coffees. We have a buy me a coffee link, so I may do that. Will the individual I buy the ticket for be able to upgrade if they want? Yes. They'll have a coupon link. Once anyone has a ticket, there is a coupon link. Let me close out before I end up transferring my ticket away. I need my ticket. I'm coming. What is the question? What was I? Upgrade. Yeah. So in that same drop down box, once you have a ticket, you can upgrade by going to maybe my account and you'll see the upgrade coupon. Also, will email them a coupon. Once their email address is associated with the ticket, they'll receive all of the emails, which include here's how to upgrade email. Anybody who has a weekend pass and wants to upgrade to the all access pass or even to the bundle, go ahead. You have an email in your inbox that's called how to upgrade, or you can just go to exodussummit.com, look in that corner, drop down menu. There is your coupon is there as well I think it's under the my purchases or I didn't exit it out now, but you can upgrade that way or through the email link. Okay. These are great questions. Maya says these are great questions. So thank you for asking your questions so that we can get some things answered. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. I'm going to scroll back because I was looking at the other screen for a while. I saw Rashida was answering some questions. I didn't know I needed tissue during. Yeah. We're so funny about money, but it's not our faults as Black women. It's not our fault that we're funny about money, but they've been lying to us. Everything that we know was built on the foundation of slavery. Everything that we know, every system we operate under, the financial, the educational, the healthcare, the religious, all of these systems were built on the foundation of enslaving us and extracting our labor for free for their benefit. So when you start feeling feelings about money, figure out, where did that feeling come from? Is that legitimate? Is it true that you shouldn't be paid to help people? Or is that fruit of the slavery tree? Most of it. A lot of the things that we believe are fruit of the slavery tree. If you get paid for nothing else in the world, shouldn't you get paid for helping somebody? If we decide that we're operating under this system where we need money to live, which is what we've decided, right? We've decided we're going to operate under the system where we need money to live. Shouldn't we at least get paid for community, for connection? If these things are important to us, like we say they are. I feel like I overdid my eyebrows today. I can't stop looking at them. I think I overdrew them a little too dark. I'll see on the replay. If nothing else, facilitating a place where people can come together and enjoy each other, support and uplift each other, isn't that worth money? Isn't there value there? Shouldn't you get paid for that? I think so. I don't do things for free. As long as I'm going to need money to eat, money for plane tickets, now money for rent, shouldn't you get paid for those things? I will. Thank you. And thank you for the compliments. When I switched back and when I switched over to sharing my screen and then came back, I was like, there's too much eyebrow here. There's too much happening. There's too much. Too much happening here. Hello, Andrea. In Portugal. Boa tarde. I think you're still in Portugal. Yeah. Okay. We're going to flip the script on these things. We're going to disrupt some of these patterns, some of these I shouldn't earn money from patterns. Some of that's going to happen in Exodus Summit 2025 as well. You can start today, though, working on that. You can start today trying to figure that out, trying to solve that problem. But we're going to disrupt some of that as well. There's the skills, the things that you know, the things that people come to you for help with. There's money there. Charge them. And then go live your life. I know, Tori, there's nothing that Black women do that people don't say you should do it for free. Tori said some people expect us to provide therapy for free. There's nothing Black women do that somebody won't come here and say, you should do that for free. Don't be an artist with a gift. You charge, that's a gift from God. You should do that for free. You can do it for free. My life costs money. I want the money. Support me. Okay. Okay. All right, we went longer than I had anticipated. Like I said, I've done a lot of talking this week, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to cut this at 90 minutes. But here we are, 2 hours and 15 minutes in. So in Exodus, oh, you're smiling, but I was gonna tell you, I'm gonna answer the question. In the Exodus Summit community, there are meetups and stuff organized, but that doesn't mean that there's a leader for that place. It means that person has set something up. But it doesn't mean that you can't also set something up. So in the Exodus Summit community, we're doing International Exodus Summit Meetup Day, October 4th. The first thing we talked about this week or today was community, right? What do you need? What do you have? How do you find community in these places that might fit your needs? So Exodus Summit is a good place to start and finish. ExodusSummit.com/community. We're doing meetups all over on October 4th. And that's right. I said, remind me. Do y'all know? Do you remember? Anybody who was here in the beginning? I said, remind me to talk about the meetups. I'm so glad that I remember because listen, y'all didn't remind me. But this was kind of a reminder. We have meetups on October 4th in London, in Southern Mexico. Where is Southern Mexico? Playa. I can't see the whole location. Playa del Carmen, okay. London, Playa del Carmen, Mexico, Detroit, Dover, Delaware, Panama City, Panama, Kansas City, Bogota, Mexico City, Montclair, New Jersey, San Francisco. The DMV just says DMV. Let me look. Oh, Everyday People, DC. Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I'm telling the whole location. Washington, DC. I just said I was no longer a person who says things inappropriately. Katy, Texas. Is Katy Dallas or Houston? Detroit. Okay, Detroit. Listen, you're going to love the Detroit Exodus Summit Squad. Listen, nobody asked me, and I'm about to alienate more people, but Black women from Detroit and Chicago, top tier. Black women from Detroit and Chicago, I'm about to alienate everybody. Let me just alienate all the rest of the people, okay? But Black women from Detroit and Chicago, some of my favorite people in the whole world are they are among my favorite people in the whole world. Every time I'd be like, I really like her. And then she'd be like, I'm from Chicago. And I'd be like, no wonder. No kidding. Katie is Houston. Okay, H-Town. The Texas squad is grande. Okay, the Exodus Summit squad in Houston and Dallas and Austin, sometimes they get together. The whole squad. That state is a big old state. It's a big old state. They get together. The Texas squad. Okay, so there's a Houston, and there are more to come. How do you know if there are more to come? You show up inside of the community and you look under the events section, and you also look in the sidebar under the individual locations. There can be more sessions to come if you make one, or there can be more meetups is what I mean to say. There are more Exodus Summit meetups to come if you make one. right? Connie Perry was just like, here's the restaurant we're going to meet at, and here's the time. You make your own meetup. There's no general. There are no generals, right? There's no general leading the armies. We're all individual women in the Exodus Summit community, and all of us can create a meetup. Some of the meetups already have RSVPs, and you may be like, that's too many people. I didn't see any with like 50 people. I've been to meetups with 40 and 50 people. It's a lot. It's a lot. But maybe you want a 2-person, a 3-person meetup. You make your own, right? You go to the channel in the side. You shout, you holler out. Anybody want to meet me this time, this date? Once you agree on something, you go to the events section, or you talk. Francis is the admin. You'll see. Francis is the admin, and you tell Francis, can you please set this up so that it'll be under the events section? October 4th, worldwide, Black women in the Exodus Summit community are getting together. Worldwide. If you want to wear an Exodus Summit t-shirt, you can go to exodussummit.com/merch. I think you may have time. Some of you may have time. Some of you already got your shirts. Okay. Some of you have your shirts. Others don't. You may have time depending on where you live if you go to exodussummit.com/merch. I sent an email out earlier this week with that link. If you look for in your inbox, you'll see an email. I am looking for the link to the community here. Copy, paste, enter. Okay. Copy, paste. Okay. So the community, exodussummit.com/community. You can join a meetup that's already happening, or you can create your own. Or you don't have time to do both. You probably don't have time to do both. St. Louis had their meetup. I don't think I saw any St. Louis meetup pictures. Yeah. Oh, no, you're saying St. Louis is having their meetup. You already had the 4th. You did. St. Louis already had theirs. I didn't read that one off, did I? So we need to make sure that that gets put under the events section. No, Winnie, you're not going to, you could, they do deliver, they will, let me think about this. I don't remember if our shop does ship internationally, but you wouldn't get it in time. No, and Rashida and I probably won't have our new merch in time. Right? She lives in Mexico City. I live in Bogota. We probably won't have that 2025 merch in time for the summit. Won't. That's life. Okay. Oh, Kimmy. Okay. So those are the things that are happening. Exodus Summit International Meetup Day. Those things are happening, and they're sooner than you think they are, friends. Okay. It's September 27th. Okay. They're much sooner than you think they are. So go ahead and get yourself registered for the summit at exodussummit.com and get yourself either attending a meetup or hosting a meetup at exodussummit.com/community. How did we do with your protocol? Your 90-day move abroad plan. How did that work out? How was this? Am I giving you good help? Am I leading you in the right direction? Because money is often the thing, Exodus Summit 2025 is set up to solve that problem for you. So please join us. You could keep watching and cheering other people on, but thinking it's not possible for you. Or you could get your ticket to Exodus Summit 2025 and learn by doing how possible it actually is. Somebody with your exact reason that you think it won't work is making it work. Okay? Please listen. Don't have people talking about, Stephanie, you didn't do enough. The country has gone down and you didn't do enough to get Black women out. Okay? Help me help you. Help me help you. Things are getting bad and badder and worse and worser. Help me get you out of there. I'm only going to do so much. This summit is that. This summit is that. Don't come back talking about you should have whatever. I'm whatevering right here. The fee to join the community is a one-time fee, $1 one time. Because we left, hi Greta, because we left Facebook and moved to this other platform, we have to pay for the platform, and we also have to pay a little more for moderation and admin things. So $1 one time is the fee to join the community. It's one time. It's not per month. It's not per year. One time, ever. Okay. Hey, Raquel, Worser. Okay. This is the 90-day plan video. Artists, start from the beginning. If you don't mind, scroll all the way back. Start from the very beginning. We'll get your 90-day plan. We did it. We did it just now. Okay. Okay. Mrs. Mackey found the Florida Meetup group. Listen, they get together a lot. Katrina was in the Jacksonville before. Katrina used to be in the Jacksonville Meetup group. I'll be like, y'all getting together again? They gets together. Okay. All right. Yeah. Help me help you. Right. Don't have people looking at me sideways talking about you left all those Black women behind. You went to Bogota and left everybody behind. No, I did not. Talking about Rashida went to Mexico City and left everybody. No, she did not. We put together the resource, the premier resource for Black women and families who want to leave the country. Utilize it. Okay, use it. Thank you. ExodusSummit.com. Okay. Okay. All right, friends. Now I really got to go. Thank you for being here. Thank you for working on your protocol. Thank you for being a wonderful community. Thank you for not getting too disturbed by the troll. And thank you for answering each other's questions. Yes, Spain. Yolanda is in Zaragoza, Spain. Are you near there, Miriam? Thank you for everything. Thank you for the cash. Thank you for everything, friends. All right. I'll be around on the internet quite a bit for the next couple of, I'm trying to put your donation back on the screen, but I can't figure out how to do it, Patty. But thank you very much for that. I'll be around on the internet quite a bit over the next couple of weeks, making sure everyone knows about Exodus Summit. If you want to spare my voice a little bit, can you share Exodus Summit with somebody? Okay, so I don't have to do all the talking. Can you let some Black women, some Black family know that Exodus Summit is happening? Let them know what it's done for you. Okay, if you want to share it somewhere, individually, in your little WhatsApp group, out in the world, on your Instagram or your YouTube or your Threads, LinkedIn, share Exodus Summit somewhere. We really are not gatekeeping, okay? We're doing the opposite of gatekeeping. And the way that things spread is by you taking it to the next level of person, right? Networks have like levels and tiers. I can reach the people I can reach, but there are people you can reach that I can't reach. If you have your ticket to Exodus Summit, then next share, let somebody know. Whether it's your first or your fifth or your sixth Exodus Summit, let people know that you're coming. Let people know what we have done for you. Even if it's just this video was helpful, share this video. We do, so even though I was serious when I said I'm not gonna run myself to the ground getting Black women out of the United States, I mean that, okay? I wanna live a good life. I wanna live a good, long life. We do want Black women and their families out of the United States, okay? And you can help us with that. Share somewhere, okay? Okay. All right. Thank you very much, friends. Thank you very kindly. Have a wonderful weekend. Let's close out September feeling good. Okay. Let's do what we have to do to feel good, even though it's not necessarily a good feeling time if you're in the US. Let's close it out feeling good, feeling hopeful. Let's close out September with expectation plus execution, right? That's the pathway to your exodus. Thank you. Bye, friends. Happy Saturday.